Hope is not a strategy. In the business of real estate, it's not a good idea to leave things up to chance. I was selling a 3-bedroom co-op in Brooklyn recently, and the closing was in about a week, and we had scheduled a final walkthrough for the morning of the closing. Now, before my client signed the contract, they did a home inspection, and a few things came up. A handful of little items. None of them were really a big deal. It was like a loose faucet, an outlet in the kitchen needed to be replaced, like a loose handle on a cabinet. Really, really simple little things. But we asked the sellers to address them, and the sellers agreed to address them by closing. No big deal. Problem solved. So fast forward to, a week out from closing, and I knew this was coming up, and I called the listing agent, and I was like, hey, remember that list of repairs your clients agreed to? Why don't we just stop over the apartment a couple days before the final walkthrough and make sure everything's in order. Make sure they took care of the things they're supposed to so there are no surprises. And the agent was like, no, we don't need to do that. I really don't think, I know my sellers really well, and there's no way that they forgot to do these things. And I was like, please, this has been a 3-month transaction. This is a co-op, mind you, in New York City. Co-ops can take like 3 months to close, sometimes longer. I had one that took 5 months to close recently. So I was like, please, this has been a 3-month deal. There have been a lot of ups and downs. We worked really hard on this. Let's just go over there, make sure everything's in order, make sure there are no leaks, nothing new, no surprises for our clients, so they can have a nice, happy closing. And he was like, fine, let's do it. So we go over there, and sure enough, the sellers hadn't done any of the things that they agreed to do. The apartment was virtually untouched from the time we had done our home inspection. And of course, the listing agent was horrified. He was embarrassed. He was shocked. He was like, I'm so sorry. I totally thought my sellers had taken care of this stuff. I'm so surprised at them. I'm not surprised, because this kind of thing happens all the time. First of all, it's a 3-month real estate deal. The inspection was like 2.5 months ago. So the sellers probably just forgot. But this is the real world. People forget, people get busy. People just don't do the things they say they're going to do in a lot of cases. And what did Reagan say? Trust but verify. I don't like to leave things up to chance. Had we not gone over a couple days early and noted that these things weren't done, this agent would not have had time to scramble and get it taken care of. We would have shown up to a final walkthrough the morning of the closing with buyers who are about to spend more money than they've ever spent. In this case, nearly $3 million. They would have showed up the morning of the closing, nervous, excited, whatever, and found that these things were done, and now they're pissed off. And now we got to go into a closing with these silly little items hanging over our head. The attorney's probably going to have to negotiate an escrow or some kind of a credit to address them, and this wonderful, exciting day is now tainted by this nonsense. It's completely unnecessary and completely avoidable. So, I don't leave things up to chance. The best agents that I know are proactive. They're not reactive. They don't wait for things to happen and then react to them and try to solve for them. They anticipate issues and get out ahead of it. They think 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead to make the experience better for their clients. Your clients are paying you a lot of money and putting a lot of trust in you to bring this home for them. You're doing something where the stakes are really, really high, and you should honor that. So do the things that you can do as an agent to make the experience better for them, make it smoother, remove some of the stress. That way they can go into their closing and have it be this wonderful, special, exciting day that they were looking forward to. Hope is not a strategy. I'm all for hope. I love hope, but it's just not a strategy.